Mike, you've had the benefit of playing with the same deep partner up until the 20-game threshold. Are there adjustments you have to make if you don't get paired with Jake this weekend?
Maybe a little bit, only because Jake plays a really specific style of game. I think I work to read off Jake. The great thing about the way he plays, he's really creative and maybe doesn't fall into the mold of a standard defenseman style. So, but at the same time, I've played with a lot of different defensemen. So whoever it is, I played with Paul Ranger last weekend. It was the first game I had played without Jake, and I think I was able to make the adjustment just fine.
Hey, what do you like about the way Paul plays, if it's you and he again?
He's great. He's obviously a tremendous athlete and hockey player, and he makes it really easy for me to do my job. He's got a ton of experience, and he's played at the highest level, and he's had a lot of success at the highest level. So he knows what he's doing, and when you play with someone with that type of experience, it makes your job a lot easier.
The one thing, though, I find interesting is you do learn how to feed off of each other, and it seemed like you and Jake had a good balance. Now, Paul's also a guy that from time to time jumps up into the play. Is there a little bit more communication maybe needed then at that time?
Yeah, I think so. Just making sure you're not both jumping. I guess we're both, I think, maybe similar in that we're not ones to lead the rush, but we both like to jump into the play, whereas Jake maybe is a little more of a defenseman that likes to lead the offense. So yeah, it's just reading off each other. Usually it's pretty easy to tell if someone's going to jump, the other one stay back, or vice versa.
Take you back to your Rochester days, your best season point-wise to date, 54, I believe it was.
Yep.
You get a feeling that, do you have any similar feelings, now compared to that, or, what went right in that year that you really were able to blossom?
A lot of it came down to opportunity. I had a ton of opportunity. I was just on an American League deal, so it wasn't a possibility of me going up and down, and we had a lot of guys going up and down that year. So because of that, I was pretty steady in the lineup all the time. I knew I was going to be on the power play. There were a lot of other moving parts that were coming in and out. But yeah, it was getting the opportunity and then taking advantage of it. This year it's been great. I've been given a lot of opportunity, and yeah, it's been a good start so far.
I think everyone thrives off of ice time, obviously, no matter what position, but do you find that just helps you in your rhythm in terms of being able to produce? It seems like that.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, you get out there and then you start getting ice time and maybe you earn a little more, and then once that starts happening, the confidence starts rolling, and the game is so much about confidence. So, and that, when you feel like the team and the coaches have the confidence in you to put you in those situations, obviously it comes into your game as well. So I think I've benefited from the ice time and the opportunity.
Some players, some people might think players are sick of seeing teams, one being Rochester by now, but on the flip side of that, does it harness a good competitive atmosphere in a stretch of a season where you get closer to Christmas break and maybe start thinking about other things?
Yeah, for sure. It seems like every other game at the beginning of the year we were playing Hamilton, and now it's been like every other game we were playing them. So it is. There's that rivalry. I think people always expect that we had one really good game against them that had that playoff feel in the last game. I think people were expecting it to maybe have a little more of that dynamic to it, and it didn't. So it's a long season, but the more you play teams like that, you get individual rivalries with individual players as well as the team-on-team rivalries. So it makes the game fun. It adds a little extra component, and obviously we're all a competitive bunch. So when you add that rivalry part into it, it just adds to the fun.